We are live. All right. And you're watching Interchain FM, your monthly podcast for all things interoperability and frontier tech related, spanning far and wide across the cryptocurrency space. But we tend to focus on the Cosmos ecosystem, which is the interoperability layer of the blockchain metaverse. I'm Chango Unchained, your host for this podcast. In this episode, we're here with one of the Cosmos ecosystem projects, Crypto.com, which has launched a Crypto.org Cosmos SDK blockchain. We're here with Eric Anziani, who's the CEO, and Leslie Chung, who's the head of DevRels. And they're joining me today to cover everything that's been happening on the ground with Crow. Welcome, Eric and Leslie.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Do you guys want to start with giving your background to the audience?
Sure, Leslie, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Hello there. So, hello, Interchain.fm, and then, so I'm Leslie Chung, and I am the head of developer relations, and also actually I'm a researcher as well, and then for Crypto.chain, and then so some of you may know me on the Discord, technical channels, and I would like to say hi to you. Yeah.
So, I'm Eric Anziani. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Crypto.com, and I oversee a few different functions, including blockchain and product. And I've been with Crypto.com for about 3 years now. So I'm very excited to be here today. I think we've worked for so many years on the Crypto.org chain and came to fruition, and we're just starting the journey now. So I'm glad to share more with the audience.
And just to establish a baseline, Crypto.org is the blockchain and Crypto.com is the exchange that provides Visa cards for spending crypto for everyday purchases. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So Crypto.com is really the kind of the world's fastest growing regulated crypto platform. So it has an exchange, it has an app, it has a card, it has an NFT platform, and also work closely with the Crypto.org chain, which is the public blockchain.
Yeah, you've got the whole works. So let's talk about Crypto.org chain for now. You just launched on March 25th, and your governance has enabled IBC on, what was it, May 1st?
The May 1st, yes, that's correct, yeah.
Okay, yeah, tell us a little bit more about that, because that's really exciting. You guys are enabling IBC. What chains are you connecting to, and why?
Yeah, of course. So actually, to the Crypto.org chain that we have launched our mainnet on the 25th of May. 25th of March, and then we have a governance proposal on enabling the IBC, which is the protocol to bridging different Cosmos SDK based blockchain. So, for example, at the meantime, you will be able to build a relayer, and also bridging, receiving, and also sending tokens to and from other projects, just like Atom and also Iris. Yeah, and of course, one of the very crucial thing about IBC is like the being able to do this token transfer. But of course, it's not just doing the token transfer. More than that, is like you can actually doing it's all about like transferring message between different blockchain. So it's more about just like token transfer. Yeah, and then in the upcoming future, then in the next upgrade, we are going to include the NFT module into our code base. So the plan is we're going to integrate one of the the NFT module from we're going to modify it a little bit, but basically that will be the NFT module of Iris. Yeah, so this is something pretty exciting, happening very soon. Yeah. Okay. I think
you're on mute.
You're mute. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. That I was saying that's what's exciting about Cosmos SDK. It's that it's compatible with everything downstream, and for someone like you who is downstream of Cosmos SDK, you could pull something like the NFT module from a separate code base that's also compatible, like the Iris one, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And also in the upcoming days, we are looking forward to the Cosmos SDK standardized NFT module. So we will see how it goes, and then in the case that there would be, something that we can put them all together, and that would be very great. Yeah.
Maybe something to add on top of that. I think the way we look at things usually is trying to see what problem we can solve for users, for customers. And so we can actually use and build sometimes the front end before. For the NFT use case that Leslie is referring to, we would have launched the platform, so the Crypto.com NFT platform. We had a lot of exciting drops, and now we're connecting the blockchain to it and making it real for users. And every different project that we bring, a new use case, we try to leverage existing tech, we try to contribute to it, and then connect it to something real that people are using for day to day.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I think it's also fulfilling the very first part of our roadmap, the first milestone of that. So it's basically putting all this the very exciting NFT that we have issued on crypto.com/NFT. And yeah, I guess maybe Eric, you want to cover a bit more on our NFT platform?
Sure. I mean, we have built it. It's still 1 month old, similar to the chain, but it's really a curated platform where you can really exchange culture and own the culture that you love. And we've worked with artists and brands across, sports, art, music, entertainment. So we had a drop with Snoop Dogg, which who released, one of his first new songs for a while just on the platform. We work with F1, Aston Martin, to release some really cool memorabilia around the launch of the new car on F1. And we had a lot of artists and Boss Logic on the digital art side that made very, very exciting drops. We had partnership with New York Stock Exchange, also to kind of commemorate some of the iconic listing that they had. We also just announced, I think yesterday, that we're working with the first football league, the Series A with Copa Liga. So their kind of championship, and for the final we'll be sponsoring the event and as well creating some very, very exciting NFT for the fans.
This stuff is really going mainstream.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way we look at it, our mission at Crypto.com is really to accelerate the world's transition to using blockchain tech and the cryptocurrency that are built upon it. I think payment was the first use case we went very hard on, and I think the Crypto.org chain is really powering that like natively, very easy, fast, low fees payments. But beyond that, I think DeFi and NFT are really opening up the space, and we can see a lot of new users that were not interacting with crypto before joining. Last year was the DeFi summer and continuing, and this year with NFT.
So just to clarify, your partnership with the New York Stock Exchange is more about releasing memorabilia that is affiliated with their iconic early launches or early IPOs.
That is correct, yes.
Not that you're releasing NFTs of stocks on your exchange.
No.
Got it. Okay. That's good to clarify. So what's the, it sounds like NFTs is one of the biggest utilities from crypto.org. Anything else? Or is it primarily an NFT chain?
Leslie, you can add on. So we started, I think, building the chain for payments. That was really the foundation. And as soon as, I think it was one day after we launched the mainnet, we connected it to our payment solution called Crypto.com Pay. So that's a very easy way for anyone to spend their crypto at merchants, primarily online. So we're connected with big merchants like Ledger, or for example, last month we launched also with Time Magazine, a lot of big names that want to accept crypto. So that was the first thing that we did, is connect the crypto.org chain to our payment use case that was already there. The front end was there, the merchants were there, but just connecting it. The next one is NFT. So we're having the ability to add that unique and authenticated piece of collectible on the chain. And then beyond that, of course, there's a huge space for decentralized finance and the use cases around it. So there's a few initiatives Leslie and the team are working on. One is to build the EVM compatible sidechains to support very easily to support projects from Ethereum and in general EVM based protocols. And then, of course, more longer term, build kind of smart contract capabilities natively on the crypto.org chain. Yeah.
Yeah, something I would like to add is so we actually the crypto company is already there, but even before the mainnet launch. So what exactly is that? So it's like the any if you want to check out from the merchants and buy something on some online store, and then that will be just when you want to check out, and that will be just like one QR code, and you can just scan it with the crypto.com app, and then to finish the entire payment. Yeah.
And what's the purpose of launching this bridge to a blockchain? Is it for crypto.com to either disrupt itself or to just integrate natively with other blockchains?
Yeah, so I mean, our mission is really to accelerate the world's transition to using blockchain tech and crypto. So as a company, it's very critical for us to ensure so we contribute to the space, not only by bringing new users with some of the more, I would say, custodial, slightly centralized solutions, but also by investing in building the tech at the infrastructure level to make the space grow and be used natively and build that native crypto world. So for us, that's very important. We also build a DeFi wallet, which is fully non-custodial and decentralized, also is connected to the crypto.org chain. And we're building this whole decentralized ecosystem because this is part of what we want to do. We want to give back control to individuals over their money, data, and identity. This is for us a strong belief that anyone should have that control. And the technology itself, blockchain tech is really a powerful tool to empower people to get control over their money. And more generally, I would say, get control over their own growth and their own destiny. So it's strategic for us to invest. We want to, build an ecosystem, and Leslie's role is really to connect, get a lot of innovation into the platform, and have everybody build on top of what we're doing on the crypto.org chain.
Is it an Ethereum killer?
I think we don't. Yeah, we don't look at it that way. I think we are believing in an open ecosystem. There will be different projects, different protocols that fit different purposes. That's why also we're in Cosmos. It's interoperability. We believe there are different use cases, and some chains will have specific value for certain users. And Ethereum is a great project. It has some pros and cons and some challenges on scalability for sure. But we want to build the ecosystem. Some of our tools support different chains. So we're just trying to contribute and bring some value to the space.
Got it. All right. So bridging with various token economies and hoping to fill various gaps through your application. Yeah, great. Sweet. So the token, let's talk about that, Crow, right? That's the native token of the crypto.org chain, right? And what does it do? Is it just a staking token, or is there going to be more utility to it?
That's a great question. So vis-a-vis the chain, for now, it's CRO is used to pay fees to have transactions go through and for staking. But it's also a token that powers some part of the crypto.com ecosystem. So it gives kind of access to our card, some benefits on our exchange for reduced fees, also for some of our interest earning products, etc., better rates. So it touches different parts of the crypto.com ecosystem and gives a lot of utility to users. And on the chain now, it's taking its full utility for now as a staking token and also for transactions. But as we build more functions, especially on the DeFi side, you will see more utility on chain being built as well.
Yeah, this token can't. I can't help but think about BNB when I look at Crow. Is that kind of the playbook that you're using here? Which is the whole thing with Binance was that they launched a BNB token. They launched a Binance chain to kind of disrupt themselves. And then they kind of incremented its utility as time went by, right? They use it to pay their employees. They give people discounts on trading on their platform. And so it was just this awesome thing that as they grew into DeFi with Binance Smart Chain, BNB ultimately became like the gas token. And so it's kind of like the gateway to access that entire ecosystem. Is that where Crow is headed?
So I think we really started in the early days. It was 3-4 years ago when we introduced the project. to see how we can bring utility to the space. And as we were building the chain, we thought, how to leverage the token to drive more utility for our users. That was growing. So we built and we keep added benefits for using the CRO token on the existing and live ecosystem. And now we're powering more on the on-chain experience. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see there are different tokens have different values. Some are more kind of a store value like Bitcoin. Some are more for pure payment. Some are more for utility across an ecosystem. So we provide more on the utility side, and we have some payment capabilities. That's how we see it.
Okay, great. Just to get everybody on what you guys have been doing, can you talk about your roadmap and timeline, just to cover everything?
Leslie, do you want to cover that?
So for the roadmap, actually we have released a roadmap last month, and then so the very first stage will be the NFT on-chain NFT support, which is currently what we have been working on. And the second stage, well, actually this development will go in parallel. So it's not like, okay, complete stage 1 and then go to stage 2. So it all happening at the same time. So that's why the team has been, actively working on this many tasks.
Okay. All right. So you guys have a cross ID testnet, is that right? And Crossfire mainnet dry run?
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
Is it? Are we back on? Oh yeah.
I think there's a slight disconnection. Go ahead, Leslie.
All right. So for the that's actually a huge bit of the preparation for us to go. I mean the preparation before mainnet. So we did the crazy testnet, and then we do a mainnet dry run, which we call the Crossfire. Yeah. And then, for example, for the mainnet, for the Crusade, so we launched it around last October, and then we actually have a 250 validated joined the Crusade testnet, and then since we launched, and there was a free binary upgrades, and then so far we have more than 19 million on-chain transaction for the testnet, and then later on because we in the progress of preparing for the upcoming mainnet, so we introduced a Crossfire, which is our mainnet dry run. We begin in last December, and the game goes on around mid-January this year. So what does it do is that it's actually similar to Game of Stake, Game of Zones. So it is an incentivized testnet. So what are we trying to do is aim to stress test the whole network in the practical, in a real world setting, with practical network topology as well, before the mainnet launch. As Eric mentioned, is one of our major target for the chain is for payment. So we just doing a serious stress testing to that, and then what do we do is we have 3,000 of registration for joining this campaign, and afterwards we select 220 participants. So we actually got 220 validators all over the world, and so there's a lot of lesson that we've learned from Crossfire, and some very valuable one. So what happening is one of the tasks that we assign to the participant is transaction spamming. So this is what we wanted to see, because later on there will be a lot of transaction, payment settlement on the crypto blockchain, and then we actually push the network to very the limit to that. So what have we done in the 4 weeks of the entire campaign is we have 280 millions of transaction on-chain transaction, and you can see that it's every single block is packed with transaction 5,000 20,000 transactions in just one block, which is pretty insane. And so I would like to also cover a little bit of like lesson what we have learned from Crossfire, and also a bit of the experience working with the Tendermint team. I mean the Tendermint core team. Yeah. So actually, in the very internal stage of testing the binary that were built for Crossfire, our security team found a DOS attack vector in the Tendermint core. So what do? Is we follow the disclosure process. So we communicate with the Tendermint core team, and the response they have a very responsive reaction to our report. So ended up they fixed the issue within days. And subsequently, we have our Tendermint core update from 0.34.2 to 0.34.3. Sorry to getting a little bit
what was the DOS vector?
Oh yeah, that's actually something related to the evidence. So in case of somebody doing, I mean, some of the validators working on some malicious.
Somebody wants to submit false evidence.
Yep.
And they could.
So
I see.
I think what our security team did was they sort of like modify our binary the Tendermint core code, and then to build the Tendermint core on top of it, and trying to maliciously sending some incorrect evidence on that. So which ends up it has been fixed. So don't worry. Yeah.
And what was the fix?
The fix was I don't have the technical details for the fix, but I think it's very minor on the evidence broadcasting parts. Yeah. And so when the game goes on, we use the latest binary with the evidence issue fix. We actually come into another issue with the memory leak issue in Tendermint, but because we actually as I said, that is like we push it to the very, very limit. And so ended up with some of the participants report that there is increase of RAM usage during this crazy transaction spamming events. And then so we help Tendermint core team to investigate the root cause of that. And then I think it's also has been fixed in the 0.34.4 version. Yeah. And there's quite a lot of things that we have learned from Crossfire, and also I think the entire the Tendermint core team, also even the Cosmos SDK, the community has been benefit from that. Yeah.
So what you're telling the audience is that Tendermint core is the most stress tested, battle tested proof of stake protocol out there.
Yeah.
We've
Great.
contributed a bit to it, yes, to a certain extent. Yeah.
Glad we've established that.
Yeah.
So you were talking about pressuring the protocol with millions. Was it millions of transactions?
Yeah, total we had I think almost 300 million transactions, Leslie.
Yeah. Is that per block?
Overall, it's in 4 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, and based on your benchmarks, what was the TPS that you got?
Well, I got to do the calculation.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that our marketing is consistent with reality, right? We don't want to overpromise anything.
I think on our side, when we did also internet test on TPS, the idea is to get in a couple of hundreds to start with, and see down the road how we can get to 1,000 and more. I think even for payment purposes, you look at Visa on average, it's 2,000-3,000 for the global network. So I think that's sufficient to get something going. But of course, as time passes, there's different ways to optimize and to get to even faster TPS.
Yeah, well, and even at 200 TPS, that's still state of the art. And that's still actually like more than what chain, proofs like finality having chains are. Yeah.
And it was a very harsh condition, that there's like about 200 validators up there, and then even doing the gossip of the transaction, like broadcasting, it could be already been an issue. if you want to settle a block within like 6 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, so you've just told me that there's 200 validator slots for the crypto.org chain, right?
Currently, the mainnet node, the mainnet, currently we just set it to 100 right now. Yeah.
Is 200
so
the goal?
the one, I think we will sort of like follow the path of what this Cosmos did. There's like a schedule slowly increasing the number of validators by years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I mean, I guess, yeah, there's always a trade-off. So if you want to process more transactions, you can have less validators coming to consensus. Whereas if you wanted to be more decentralized, then maybe you got to add slots. So, but for your purposes,
I feel it was already an ambitious target to launch with 100 slots. And I think, I don't remember Leslie, but in like 24 or 48 hours after the launch of the mainnet, all the slots were taken.
We already got full house. Yeah.
So it was very encouraging, but we wanted to be a bit conservative. But the response from the community and the support, I think, was tremendous.
Yeah, great. Sounds like lots of validators are interested in this chain. Cool. What else? Do you have more on your roadmap? You want to talk about your EVM chain that's incoming?
Eric, would you like to take
Sure.
this?
So I think if you look at the roadmap, Leslie was kicking off and talking about the NFT part, and then we have kind of the EVM-based chain, and then after that, kind of more native DeFi solutions. Probably Cosmos wasn't on the main chain to start building DeFi protocols directly on the chain. So on the EVM-based chain, there will be some announcements very, very soon. We're very excited about this. I think it will bring a lot of developers, and we can build a full-fledged ecosystem from AMMs to lending, borrowing protocol, oracles, and more connectivity to different wallets out there to really drive some value and interesting use cases on that space. So the team now is kind of finalizing all the details, but we'll make some announcements in terms of how we're gonna set it up. I think we're working very closely also with the Ethermine team. So I think we're going onto that direction and see what we can do together. And I think it's going to be fascinating in terms of the activity we'll see with the incentive that the team is putting together, as well as the tech that we'll be building. Of course, as usual, open source. We'll invite anyone to participate. I think that's our philosophy, and we'll work with the developer community to grow that.
Your EVM chain then is not going to be using Solidity smart contracts, right? It's going to be using CosmWasm, if I'm understanding correctly.
No, so for the EVM side, it will be Solidity, yeah. And then down the road, on the main chain, on the crypto.org chain, the team is looking at how can we bring Cosmos Wasm directly and natively on the native chain. So that will be the plan, but this will take a bit longer.
Okay, I understand. So crypto.org chain is going to integrate CosmWasm potentially in the future. And then your EVM chain, another chain, what is it called? What's the name of it?
I don't think we have
don't have a name yet.
Come up with a name yet, yeah.
Crypto Smart Chain.
That's an interesting one.
Okay. Okay, and that's in the future. Okay. So so this smart contract enabled blockchain, is that going to enable IBC? Might that be a hub of sorts to allow for to allow for pegging to other proof of work blockchains, for example? So that's one of the things that I've heard have lots of interest in. People want to peg proof of work blockchains like Doge, like Handshake to Cosmos. They want and cross network HNS or something. Is that going to be possible with your crypto smart chain?
Yeah. No. I think we're definitely trying to build IBC also to that chain, so it has connectivity to more chains. Some of the functionality in Ethermint right now do not allow for all the things that we want. That's why we want to work very closely with the team to make sure we build it. And I think IBC enablement is very key. So we'll work with the team to add that progressively and then enable all this connectivity with the kind of EVM side chain.
Yeah, that's going to be important because it's going to add a lot of value to the Cosmos ecosystem once that happens, just because there's a lot of demand for smart contracting capability within the Cosmos ecosystem, so that it could, easily, seamlessly plug into all the currently parallelly running DeFi economy that we're not exactly directly tapping into at the moment.
Yeah, and I think Leslie and Thomas, also our chain lead, have been very clear that they want this feature to come in. So we'll make it happen. Yeah.
Great. So let's talk about. I want to zoom out and talk about the market for a little bit, which is, so right now we saw the rise of exchange coins, which followed the Coinbase IPO, right? With direct listings, people. The thesis is that people see the baseline value of a $250 $300 coin, as in the Coinbase IPO stock coin, and they see that that's the baseline, and they say, okay, well, these exchanges that haven't necessarily IPO'd have these tokens, and these tokens may necessarily reflect the value of that exchange, because now you have you have like a crypto.org chain now, and I could speculate on it and do like a coin direct listing, right? What's your take on that? Is that something that you anticipate people are going to do with Crow? Is that what they're already doing?
So in general, I think we're a little bit different from some of our peers. We don't really comment on price. That's very far from our goals. But and I don't think token economics is that simple. It's actually a very, very complex topic, even for us to crack. So we don't think the token is the value of the company or things like that. I think those are very different things. It has its own utility, its own dynamics. And we let the market decide, what makes sense in terms of the demand and supply. Our goal as a company is really to build product that bring value, and there is some utility when you use the Crow token on it, to build a space which is open source, where community and developers can come and also bring more value to the ecosystem. And we don't look at it, from that kind of valuation standpoint. But I think what was interesting is it is a big moment for the industry, the Coinbase listing. I think it's great news. It also gives some very interesting comparables. So we have this really first very large crypto player being listed with an official kind of market cap. And if we're looking at our numbers not that long ago with the team, and at this stage we're about maybe 20% of kind of the key metrics that Coinbase has published. So it's good to have a reference point in terms of what the company could be worth. But we don't really think of the token that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which markets does Crypto.com address? Like the US market or the global market, both?
Yeah, so we're a global company. We have more than 10 million users now on the platform. They are in the Americas, they are in Europe, and those are really big markets for us. And of course in Asia, where we started. So there's we're trying to serve the global needs. We're trying to grow the space, so we're not restricted to any specific markets.
Yeah. So what is your take on the derivatives market? Do you are you following what's going on with ETFs, futures, and all those traditional financial instruments entering into the crypto space?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's been a lot of innovation in the space, especially in derivatives. And crypto is a nascent asset class. So as it matures, there's more sophisticated instruments that people are developing. So we have better management of volatility and better predictability, and also capability for bigger players to enter and hedge and kind of take bigger positions. So I think it's a positive development that we have more maturity in terms of the instruments that are on top of this asset class. We also offer derivatives on our exchange platform. We have perpetual at this stage, and there's more to come. But I think in general, more tools, whether it's for institutions or potentially ETF for retail, I think it helps broaden the adoption of the space. And it's always good to have, I would say, instrument that people are familiar with. I think ETF is a good example. There's pros and cons to it, but it's something people understand, people are used to, and it could be their first step into the crypto industry. And then they move forward, and then at some point they go on a DeFi wallet and they stake directly on the crypto.org chain. But it's a journey, and I think having instruments that people understand, like we did 4 years ago when we launched crypto.com Visa card. It's this beautiful metal card. People understand cards. It gave great benefits. It really helps open up the space and bring new people in.
I have a slightly differing view about this, which is, like, one, this does help us cross the bridge to mainstream adoption, which is always great. But as we get ever closer to that mecca, so to speak, what's going to happen is, I think something similar to the metals market is going to happen to Bitcoin, for example. So the more instruments that abstract away the actual the real asset, like with gold and with silver, and the more you allow people to trade, then it increases the chances of like a bank run, for example, right? So what's going to happen is people are going to deposit their crypto into exchanges. You allow people to trade like derivatives on top of that crypto, and then if all of them, everyone decided to withdraw, then at the end of the day you may or may not be able to get the real crypto back. And so what's going to happen is it's going to change the market a little bit to something that is similar to how the gold and silver market is currently operating right now, which is it gets manipulated by the big players. But at the same time, hey, mainstream adoption.
I mean, it's important. I mean, we're here for that. I think that should be our primary goal. I mean, the pie is still too small. I think the blockchain tech has so much value. We need to bring it to a broader audience. I think this is our mission, and we'll push for that. And there's no perfect system. We're not saying the traditional financial system is perfect. I mean, far from it. That's what we're working in the crypto space, because I think the crypto and blockchain can bring much more value and disrupt that space. It's 24/7. It's much faster. There's no central intermediary. I mean, all this good stuff. You have full control over your asset. I mean, all this stuff is fantastic, and we'll push for it. And that's why we're here. But we need to find ways to bring more people into the space. And there's no perfect solution. There are already systemic risk with centralized exchange. There are also issues on the DeFi space. You have rug pools. You have also, when the market moves with lending and borrowing platform, there's also a lot of liquidations there happening. It's the nature of the market. It's going to evolve. It's going to be a bit chaotic because we're still early, but we need to find a way to grow it and mitigate some of this risk as we move forward.
Totally. So let's go to questions from the stream, shall we?
Let's do it.
Barbu Allen asks, "Hi guys, any idea on when the exchange app will be released?"
So I'm guessing it's released. It's coming very, very soon. We're in the final stages now, and I think in today's world, if you don't have an app to trade, even for an exchange, I think it's a bit hard. So that's a must, and it's coming very soon.
Will Alexander Steinberg asks, "Will value transfer between different chains be possible on Crow chain?"
Leslie, you want to take this one?
By value transfer, is in. Sorry, I don't exactly get the question, but
I'm guessing with IBC, transfers of value and messages in general, especially within the Cosmos SDK ecosystem, will be. It's That's already right. Live, and then there will be more that we can build. Yeah.
CryptoGParty asks, "How will that affect Crow? Is Crow necessary for all this EVM projects?"
So for sure, Crow will play a big role in the EVM sidechain. So I think you'll see a lot of utility being driven and some new kind of benefits coming from using Crow on the EVM sidechain. So you can count on that, definitely.
Yeah, and I guess we would. I mean, everything that we would like to do is, driven back the traffic and create the values of CRO itself. Yeah.
I would expect that if you're an EVM chain, Crow would naturally be the gas token for that chain, right?
Yeah, that's our goal. I don't think it's already there in Ethermint, so it's one of the things we want to add on to make sure we can move Crow and have it as the fee kind of a token as one of the elements of the utility. So it's definitely a requirement that we're working on.
That makes sense. CryptoGParty asks if this is the same for the NFT platform.
Oh, regarding Crow? It's a great question. We've been getting that question for sometimes just since we launched. It's just a month away. I think we're very keen to find benefits for Crow stakers and Crow users on the NFT platform. For now, we're just kind of building it, bringing exciting creators, cool content, and then as it progresses, we have some ideas. We could be exclusive collections for Crow users. It could be different type of access. So we're if the teams and the community has some ideas on how we can bring more benefits to Crow users also on the NFT platform, really keen to get all these ideas. I think for now we're just brainstorming, but I think it will be definitely pretty cool.
I expect that people would be able to use Crow to purchase NFTs on crypto.org and I don't know, possibly get a discount on collections or something like that.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, so today they can already because if you look at our NFT platform, of course, we want to make it super easy. So even with a credit debit card, you can buy NFT instantly. But we also have integrated with Crypto.com Pay, which is the our payment solution. And for Pay, you can use it in two ways. You can use it with the Crypto.com app, our custodial product. It's instant, and you can just scan your QR code, as Leslie was explaining, and the payment is done, but off-chain. But we also have connectivity on-chain. And we also have connectivity to the crypto.org chain. So you can pay your NFT natively using a CRO of the crypto.org chain today already. In most products or merchants we have integrated, we've tried to have some cashback if you use Crow as the currency. So it's something we may bring also to the NFT platform as one of the benefits. So still being discussed.
I want to ask you a question about your debit card. So how does it work? People can deposit currency. Like, is it any currency in order to fund it?
Yeah, so
any currency and cryptocurrency?
The Crypto.com Visa card today is the biggest program crypto card in the world. So we cover the most countries: Asia, Europe, US, Canada, and it's more being added. And also it's the biggest in terms of users and transaction volume. The way it works for now, it's more like I would say a debit card model. So you need to select the crypto that you want to sell and you top up on your card, and then you can go and spend it. That way you have full control on when you are selling your crypto. Because some days maybe you don't want to sell at the point of sales, and maybe you wanted to sell like 2 days ago. So we give you that flexibility. You can top up, and there is a list of cryptocurrency per market that are kind of allowed for direct conversion. But of course, we support more than 100 currencies, and you can definitely convert to a kind of eligible currency and then spend it. But we're launching something quite interesting, which is going to be a first in the industry. We call it spending power. So it allows you to use your card without actually spending and selling your crypto. So it will use the crypto that you have on your app as collateral, and you have some kind of credit line that you can use to just spend. So I think it's very powerful because, especially in this market condition, it's a bit hard paying to sell your crypto. So we understand that, and we want to empower people to kind of continue to be holders of their crypto. So that's coming very soon as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and we also have an existing product called crypto credit. So basically the same idea. So you can make some of the, you can put Bitcoin as your deposit and, get a loan from that. Yeah. So it's like the case that you don't want to really sell your Bitcoin, but wow, you really have to pay the bills for this month. Yeah. So I personally use it and I really enjoy that. Yep.
Yeah, it's quite powerful, and it's actually an extension of this credit product. We're just bringing that to the card, so it's making that connectivity even easier.
You just gave me a lady boner.
Okay.
Would you like my referral code?
Okay, yeah. So I don't need to spend my crypto, and I could take a loan out from you essentially, right? To pay for things. That's great, and that enables the user to not incur any capital gains tax from selling something like a commodity, which gives it the function of a medium of exchange, like it's always supposed to be.
Correct.
That's great.
I think the tax aspect is actually pretty big. Unfortunately, today, when you sell your crypto, it is in most jurisdictions a taxable event. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't want to go into a coffee shop and have to spend my Bitcoin, for example, and then pay an extra 50% on top of that. So an added sales tax. That's great. So how does that work? I send crypto into crypto.com, right? And you essentially custody it, and then you lend out, you loan a you lend a credit line to the user.
Yeah, it's some kind of loan disbursement that we give you on the card directly that you can use instantly. As soon as you have kind of enabled that spending power function, then you have that loan that you can use directly on the card. Yeah.
That's another interesting thing too, which is you don't actually have, so lenders would not have to actually send like a, show you their credit report for creditability, because they are actually already collateralizing it. So
correct. We don't have credit scoring. We don't need these kind of things because of the collateral nature. I mean, it's like in the DeFi space today. It works the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was part of the reason for the bullishness behind Ethereum, and the reason why Ethereum had recovered back to its all-time high much more quickly than Bitcoin had after that news about the Biden tax increase, the wealth tax, basically, was announced. Yeah, that's really huge.
Talking about,
and just to give you a sense, sorry, Leslie, just a quick one. If you're a staker of CRO for the credit product, it reduces your APR. I think it's below, it's like 8% to borrow on that front versus maybe 10 or 12%. And we have sometimes promotion where it goes down to 1% for a lower LTV. So it's very exciting when you're CRO stakers. You can borrow it almost at no cost. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's so exciting. I'm so excited. That's really great.
Talking about tax, and actually we actually have launched a crypto.com tax, which the pain point. We understand the pain point of like when you're trading cryptocurrency, and the tax issue will be a very, very troublesome at the end of the financial year. So it is now available to the US and also Canadian customer.
Yeah, it's and it's free. I think it's important. We don't charge for it, and it's pretty robust. We had some very solid auditors and financial specialists look at the rules, so it makes sense. And then we're adding more and more countries. There's more coming.
Okay, if you're addressing those jurisdictions, the United States and Canada, that means you have to KYC, right?
So for the tax platform, no. I mean, there's some basic information, but it's a tool, really. It's a platform for people to kind of upload their transaction and calculate their tax. It's up to them. We don't need to KYC there. But of course, our main app platform, which is custodial and touches fiat in many different ways with bank transfers, the card, all our customers are KYC'd there. Yeah.
Okay, so in order to get the debit card, they need to KYC, right?
That is correct.
Okay, it needs to be shipped to a physical mailing address. Got it. All right, let's go back to the stream for some questions. Scopolaman asks, how do you plan to solve the centralization issue?
I think Yeah, I think I know you. Yeah. I guess this issue he is pointing is to the crypto chain about the delegation and also the validators. So what are we doing right now is we actually have the NCW app that we were talking about, which is a DeFi wallet, is driving huge traffic of the delegation to crypto.chain. So we have plans to to polish it and also providing a better user experience for user to select which validator to stick with, and also we have plans to so what's happening right now is the validator is trying to like do so-called a zero commission war, which is happening in some other chain at the early stage as well. So validators would just charge 0% of commission and trying to trying to get more delegation at the very early stage of the blockchain. And then so what are we going to tackle this is we're going to introduce some other metric. So you for example, just like uptime and also the governance engagement. So every validators you can see sort of like a score of that to represent how important, how stable this validator representing to the delegators. So in that case, I guess it will be people would select a more reliable validators instead of just looking at the commission. Yep.
Yeah, I think this point is very critical, and it's going to be a journey. We want to make sure delegation is broad across most of the validators, and we encourage like good behaviors. 0% commission. I feel it's okay in the short term, but it's not sustainable. We want validator to make money, to be sustainable for this ecosystem to last. So we want to encourage other metrics like uptime is very important, and then how much you self-delegate, you show your commitment, and some of the other metrics that the team is looking to add. So every week, I mean, we get some feedback from different actors, from the community, from infrastructure partners that have gone through this journey on how we can provide more information so people can make choices that help the decentralization, especially on the staking side. So it's a journey, but we welcome all the feedback. And Leslie and the team have been doing already a lot of iteration to make sure we provide more information and we encourage the behaviors that are good for the long-term success of the chain.
So that's in early bootstrapping stage of any proof of stake blockchain, right? That's something that happened with the Cosmos Hub. But later on in a chain's life cycle, so let's say like a year to 2 years of it launching, what happens is centralized exchanges come in, and then they enable staking, right? So Coinbase, Binance, the behemoths come in, and they provide incentives on their exchange to get their users to stake with them. And then what happens is they ended up just like shooting up to number one. The difficult thing with that is that those exchanges are not necessarily active in terms of like paying attention to upgrades and like actually participating in test nets for preparing for like a hard fork or soft fork, whatever have you. Like how are you going to prepare for that, right? That's like an almost an inevitability, and you can't really, I don't know, you don't have like recourse for your chain.
No, for sure. I think it's one of Leslie's job as well. But in general, we've been in the industry for a while. We know all these different partners and players. And the first step that we're doing with them is this migration towards using the native chain. And here the team is building very, very strong relationship with the developers, the different stakeholders on all the different exchanges and all the large players. So we have this connectivity. We can communicate. We can provide when the updates or hard forks are coming. So that's kind of the route. And it starts now when we're helping them do the migration to the native chain, creating that connectivity, making sure we have that dialogue and work through it. But it will become more and more challenging as the ecosystem grow and some of these larger players enter. So I don't think there's a one solution today that silver bullet that will solve it. But I think dialogue, communication, building this relationship is also very important.
Yeah, I think keeping this a close relationship with the developers, and also you have like a direct person of contact of the exchanges is very important. And so we would just keep them on the track and keep everyone on the same page as well. Yep.
Yeah, or you incentivize users with, I don't know, getting a higher yield for directly staking on your chain than through an exchange. I don't know. Just honey is sweeter than vinegar is my thought.
Yeah.
Okay, Go asks, handshake? That's kind of like a nondescript question, but my take or my interpretation of that question is, what is the criteria for you to like whitelist support for any token deposits in order to receive like a debit card to pay for, or like use as collateral, I guess?
I'm not sure we saw the questions popping up, but so is it in relation to the Crypto.com Visa card? And sorry.
At least that would be my interpretation of the question.
Yeah, I think for the collaterals, it's going to be pretty open for the new feature that we talked about, spending power. Of course, it needs to have a certain level of liquidity, so it kind of makes sense, and it can be used as a collateral. I think that's one major criteria, and we'll start with a handful, and then we'll continue to expand. And in general, for the card, for direct selling and to top up the card, is also a dialogue with the issuer and with Visa and then different partners. So this one, the list is a little bit more restricted, but we're working every day to see how we can expand and have more direct top-up currencies on the card. But there is more stakeholders involved. So it's a dialogue, and we're pushing the envelope where we can.
Okay, I understand. So there is some constraint with Visa and how it can operate within certain jurisdictions, and whether or not a coin that is supported passes the Howey test, essentially. Is that right?
I think this is some of the requirements, definitely. I mean, in general, we don't support security on the platform, so I think this one we can pick. But there's other consideration, and depending on the maturity and the acceptance of some of the tokens, some of the partners, it's not only Visa, it can be the card issuer or the banking partner. They have their own requirement and their own compliance that needs to approve. So we're working through it, and we also our role is also to educate and try to put more tokens enable for direct top up on the card, because it's much more convenient for users. They don't have to do 2 steps; they can just do 1 step.
Got it. Eric asks, when will card spend, ATM, currency conversion, etc. limits be visible in app?
Got it. Yeah. So I think we have some of that. If you go to your settings on the top left-hand corner, and then you go to the fees and limits section, it should cover all these limits. And usually, I think we don't restrict too much, but maybe above a certain threshold, there is a small fee that comes in. And the higher your card tier is, the higher that limits that until it's free is big. So I would advise go to the settings, fees and limits, and otherwise you can ping me later on Twitter if you haven't found the information.
It seems like Eric got one of the Crypto.com app running and inside his head. Yeah.
Nice. Jeremy Ng asks, when will we be able to top up the Visa card directly with Crow? Used to be able to do this with MCO.
Yeah, I think it's very convenient for users to do so, and it's another education piece we have to go through, and we're working with our partners to enable that. So bear with us.
Ernesto Estrada asks, are there any plans to implement or promote further user engagement with the Crypto.com University program?
I think education is super important in our space, and we have a research team that publishes content in the Crypto.com University, which is more like kind of one-on-one basics about protocols, Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi, and then we have something called the Crypto.com Research Hub, where we have a bit more in-depth papers, market updates, macro papers as well. And we have also, even for the Crypto.com private users, some in-depth exclusive research as well that we offer. So I think that's kind of the spectrum. We don't really have a program per se, but if you're interested to write about a topic, I mean, you can contact us, and we can see how we can incorporate that into the university. But our goal is really to kind of bring content to explain more about the space. What we're working on today and this next few months is really to bring more video content beyond the articles and the infographics. How do we make it more live and easier to digest?
David Lee asks, is long-term goal to convert all Crow ERC20 to native Crow?
I think we want to migrate as much token as possible, but we do see still some value, and users are still using Crow on the Ethereum blockchain. We do have some DeFi protocol that uses it, so I don't think it will be 100%. But of course, there's a lot of value for people to migrate and to stake and get benefits of what's coming on the crypto.org chain. But I don't think at this stage there is a clear mandate to move 100%, because there are still use cases on Ethereum blockchain leveraging CRO, and we want to make sure people keep that benefits there.
Eric asks, DeFi card when?
Well, I think for us, we already have the DeFi wallet, so you can keep your assets and have full control over it. And then when you want to spend it on your card, we have a very easy connectivity between the DeFi wallet and the Crypto.com app. It's almost frictionless. You can connect the two. It will send the tokens directly to your app, and then you can use it to top up your card. Because even for a DeFi card today, the players that are out there, you still need to KYC at some point. So for us, we see it as you keep your asset, you have full control in the DeFi wallet, and then whenever you want to spend it, you just connect with the app and then spend it on your card. And I think this hybrid model already kind of achieved the main goals, I would say.
Eric said, for the card spend, yeah, for the card spend limits question, I meant a visualization of how much you've spent and still can spend.
Oh, that one. Yes, it's on the roadmap. Somehow it's been moved a few times, so I'm trying to get it back on track. I think those gauges are very helpful, especially in certain markets like Singapore, etc. You have more tighter limits, so it's good to know where you are instead of going and asking customer support, because they have already a lot on their plates. So it's an important feature, and we're trying to get it done.
Cool. And that's all for the questions that we're taking from the stream. Do we have any closing remarks? This is a past an hour-long interview by now, so let's wrap up. Do you guys have closing statements?
Sure. I mean, it's been a pleasure. So first of all, it was very exciting and very pleased to have all these questions and be able to share a bit more about the Crypto.org chain. I think we're really starting on our journey. Leslie and the team have spent 2.5 years building a powerful chain in the Cosmos ecosystem. We're going to build a lot of exciting use cases. NFT coming, payments is already there, DeFi is coming. So it's going to bring a lot of value to our community, and we really want to create that open ecosystem, transparent, open source, and bring value and connect it also to the real world, which I think the topic of today's session. We have more than 10 million users already on our platform. How do they bring them, and we bring them on chain, and how do they use the Crypto.org chain and get value from it? And I think that would be very exciting to make the tech useful for people and drive value.
And why did you guys... Sorry, go on.
Something I would like to add is we actually have an ecosystem grant open. So in case of anyone have any idea that you think that it would benefit the crypto.org chain, and actually not just the crypto.org chain, because the Cosmos SDK is the whole universe. So let us know, and then we will definitely get back to you, and then there will be ecosystem grant for that. Yeah.
Why did you guys pick Cosmos SDK as your framework for developing your own sovereign chain?
Okay, good question. Yeah, I guess it's we choose it at the around 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Eric.
Yeah,
And
correct.
of course, the thing is the module thing itself, and also the tandemine, I mean, consensus engine underneath is so robust. So I guess this is like some very obvious answer to that question. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the interoperability concept is something we believe, is something to push forward. I think there is a lot of value in it. People will bring different use cases, different benefits with more specialized chain. So I think we're very pro and trying to invest in this ecosystem that connects different blockchain.
Yeah, and especially as a different chain would build on the same SDK, and then they would build their own module according to their special, use case circumstances. For example, in our case, we actually build an in-house subscription module where you can, do a recurring payment, say every single month. So this is like our use case. So we build this module, so any other Cosmos SDK project can also like adopt to that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, 2018, that means you guys were one of the earliest adopters of Cosmos SDK, because that was right around the inception of that idea about building a framework instead of a smart contracting layer.
Yeah, and then we started with the Tendermint core consensus, as Leslie mentioned. That was kind of the foundation.
Yeah, you guys are the OG Cosmos SDK adopters. Congratulations for launching your chain.
No, thanks for the Tendermint core team and the Cosmos team. I think we're here today also because we're able to build and work with those amazing teams that have done so much for the space. And our role also is to to a small extent also to contribute back. So we're also trying to do that.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. This has been an excellent show, very insightful, and you have got yourself at least one new user, that's me, that's going to try out your debit cards.
Awesome.
Okay, just to close out, where can people find you guys on social media? What website should they go to, and how do they, use crypto.com? I guess that's in your name.
That is correct. Crypto.com is definitely the URL that you need to go to, and you can download our apps directly from there. For me, on Twitter mostly, so my handle is Eric Node, Node.
Yeah, and for the chain, then that will be crypto.org. So crypto.org. Yes.
And where can they find you, Leslie?
Yeah. So my my Twitter handle will be Leslie CHN. Yeah.
Okay, great. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in to this episode live. We post recordings on the Spotify and Amazon Music podcasts 2 to 3 weeks later after it's been live. And so you should tune in to our next episode. We're going to talk to JP of Thorchain. So if you are a Thorchain fan, tune into the next one. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Cheers.